So that's all we really need.
All good.
Also gives me a chance to tweet out the show.
Also gives me a chance to throw in hosting.
There it is.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Damn it, my.
I was just waiting for the Twitter alert.
Good thing I didn't start. Yeah, it's all the Twitter alerts. It's all. Soon the Crucible will start hosting me as well.
Never.
Nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge.
Dude, it's on Brohamet. That's not my problem.
What?
Fixing the auto host.
Right. Chili's here.
Chili's is like I've just been here stalking stream.
That's not creepy at all, Chili.
Nah, Chili's the main boy. He's always.
Chili's everywhere.
It's true, but he's always here. He's everywhere, but consistently always here.
Chili's
I mean,
Contos.
Actually, yeah, you're not wrong. Chili is our Contos.
There.
Yeah.
You are both hosted and auto-hosted.
Oh, snap. I'm excited.
Yo, dog, I heard you like to be hosted.
I do. Yeah,
No,
I
just put a host in your host so you can host while you host.
Hi,
Yelta. All right, so I get to ask.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna let you three. I may let the chat decide, but I'll let you three decide. Do you want the old Maelstrom Radio intro, or do you want the EDM Thoradin remix intro?
Dude, let's start with some fucking jams.
All right.
Oh god, we're harassing Sasha with Shib Turkey in Discord.
It's pretty great. Thanks, shipping. It's gonna be fantastic.
Shut up, man. You can't tell anyone about fucking Shib Turkey. They'll figure it out before we can debut it.
Oh yeah, we can't do it yet. Can't unfortunately do it.
We need to save our thanks shipping surprise.
Yeah. Also, Sabaku, did you want to hear the old intro, which is a rock version of Wanderer's Palace, or did you want to hear the Thoradin remix?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is tough. They're both good. I will say this: the Thoradin one is slightly longer than the Wanderer's Palace one, but I'm good. It's Friday night. I got really no place to be.
Yeah. Huh? We've got you for the rest of our night.
Yeah, I want the other guy to decide.
Oh, okay. Well, it's between. I mean, Brahm is like the jam.
Wait. Unless Safe says he doesn't want to hear the Thornton one because it's about Ishgard and he hates Ishgard, then I'm gonna go for that.
It is a good song though, but I mean, it's just really good. Like, I know it's not like Ishgard related. Well, it is, but still, like, it's a really good song. Like, regardless of where it's from, it's solid.
I've got some history with Thornton. Skline's in the chat talk. He's probably going to talk about it. I'm going to steal it from him. So there was this one time we were running Thornton, and I decided the party was good enough without me. I think I was tanking. I don't know, but at one moment I was just like, you know what? I'm going to spend most of this fight trying to get a good screenshot of me hugging Thornton's leg. So I spent the bulk of the run just trying to hug Thornton's leg rather than actually do the content. They did fine without me.
That reminds me of one time I was running Garuda EX with my old free company, and I was drunk. Like, I was really drunk. So we were having a lot of trouble, and I knew that we were not going to get the clear because it was just one of those nights. So I decided to pull Garuda by petting the titty. So I ran forward and I did slash pet, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna pet the titty.
I just want to point out so that everyone here knows we are streaming right now.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that.
I don't mind if everyone knows about Pet the Titty.
That's not what my point was. I just figured you should probably know in case you start throwing out things that you don't want to be heard on stream.
Yeah, let me just go grab my credit card number. We're not live, right?
Anyway, I just want to point out that drinking fucking energy drinks is a mistake and no one should ever do it.
Oh.
Anyway, I think we should do the EDM song because more Maelstrom Radio episodes have opened with the other ones, so you should just...
Yeah, that's kind of the point of switching to a new intro.
Oh,
yeah, switching to a new intro. The point of it is that it's your new intro.
We like to go back and forth. Actually, Shin wants 4 intros that we can like rotate out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is consistency?
I don't know. Well, you know, we want to break the mold of what's consistent.
Here,
all right, so
make a 300-track playlist so you can always have a different.
And muted. All right, we're starting the show. They can't hear you anymore. It's fine.
How do you like that one?
Actually, no, they can't still hear you. I'm going to mute the stream as well. So now you can't hear them anymore. I think they're fantastic people, but they need to stop talking for a minute. All right, let's get this show on the road. Today is September 29th, 2017. This is episode 54 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. your hosts, Gladys and Shinra.
And welcome to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Flatus. This is a very special episode because not only do I have a guest, I have three guests, technically two guests from three guests.
2.5.
Yeah, something. I have with me normally Maelstrom Radio does joke intros, but I decided with the show and being what it was tonight that I would do something a little different and off the cuff. So with me, the brilliant minds behind the Way Sisters and the Crucible, Brohamit and Safis Sephiroth.
Hello. Glad to be your new co-hosts.
I am Sephiroth, and I just want everyone to know that we're like 2 months out from becoming Maelstrom Radio, and it's going to be really nice when we get to have you on as a guest, Flatus. We'll invite you most weeks.
I don't think actually you do know that Maelstrom Radio is a business, right? Like I own this. So legally if you take Maelstrom Radio, I will just sue you.
It's a hostile takeover.
Well, I mean, you'd have to pay me and Shin.
We're going to pay you and you won't even know
With
it.
these hands.
I'm not. No, I don't. Your hands are declined, sir. Listen, also with me is Wanderer Sabaku, the founder, the person behind A Stage Reborn, and if you've never seen them before, go check them out. But we'll get into that later. But Sabaku, you're uh-oh.
Flatus.
No, he's here.
Trailed off there. I'm like, do you want me to intro now? Is this my spotlight?
Yes,
Is
it's your
this-
spotlight.
Is this my musical number coming on?
Yeah, I know. I do it very radio. It's very morning zoo. But yes, no, go ahead and speak. I want you to tell the people who you are, where you're from, and what your father does for a living. Well, maybe not that last part.
No, I can answer them all. They're fine. So yeah, I'm the founder of A Stage Reborn. A Stage Reborn is actually a nonprofit, so I'm technically the president and executive director of it. Like, we're an actual business. You can look us up. So I've been doing this since 2015, and it's been fun. We do those shows and cool stuff with games. And my dad is actually an EMT supervisor now. I think he got a promotion. So yeah.
We all learned a fact.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah. So before I get into the show, the reason why we're here was that somebody had decided to troll A Stage Reborn, and I wanted to take a negative and turn it into a positive and have a discussion about what A Stage Reborn is. We'll do an interview with Sabaku here about where they started and everything, but also talk about MMO toxicity. Now, here's the deal. The person who decided to do that is in my chat right now. So I'm going to go ahead and have Brohamit or one of my moderators go ahead and ban. They know the names. So Brohamit, you know the two people. So I would please, if you could, go in there and ban that person. Because, and while you're still here listening to me, and I want you to know this, is that what you did was wrong. And I will explain later tonight why everyone that will ever see
Good
you should turn.
riddance.
Yeah, anytime that anybody sees you trolling should just turn your back and walk away from you. I don't even care. And I hope Sabaku, I mean, I don't want to tell people to ever leave A Stage Reborn play, but I'd rather see people turn their back and walk out on you completely, including the cast, than have to look at you ever again. So, because I don't believe that you deserve the time of this community, the face of this community, and I don't think that you are a part of what this community really is. I've seen this community do great things, and you're not a part of it. To me, you're not. You're at the lowest form of what this community has to offer, and I don't like that. and when I tell people to come play this game, I tell them to come play for a good reason. And 100% of that is always because of the community. and I don't ever want to see someone like you do that ever again. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and start us off with some news. So you know, Shin is going to be back not next week. Now I know I said first week of October. He's going to be back. He's just not going to be back in time for Maelstrom Radio next week, because next week on the 2nd, I have the Great Fusion X coming live on here on the 2nd. We're going to discuss Fusion. I know is in chat listening, so we're going to be discussing Live Letter 4.1. We're also going to be revealing what Extra Life, the big Extra Life thing is. We said the first week of October. I've got Shin's permission, and there's a reason why I would want Fusion X here for that, because it is big time news. So if you want to know what we're doing for Extra Life and why it's such a big deal, you might want to come here on the 2nd. Whomst Fusion EX? Yeah, Fusion EX. Or do you mean literally Gamer Escape? Literally Gamer Escape. But I know. Listen. I know who it is. Okay, I've played Overwatch with him while he streamed on Gamer Escape. I know who it is. Unless it isn't him, and then I'm very confused. But it's probably him. It's probably him. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find. Also, so Shin will be back the 2nd week of October. He'll probably regale us in all sorts of cool stories from Japan and Korea. But have I eaten fish with him? Not maybe in the same area, but maybe not together. Like maybe we're in the same restaurant in Vegas, and maybe unknowingly we ate fish. Chat's already getting crazy. So that's all I got going on really next week. Also, later in October, I do have a game developer. I still have to make sure he's cool with October's time frame for him. But we're also going to talk about hopefully maybe the 2nd or 3rd weeks. Shin should be here for this. We're going to talk about MMO game design with an MMO game developer from an MMO game company. So, you know, I know people. Also, so we're gonna jump into the news. Live Letter 39 dropped today. So if you didn't see that, or you were under a rock, we got some news. There's gonna be 6 class changes. There's going to be an all new story. It looks like we're finally gonna see the so after the war, we're gonna see where they're gonna head government wise with Alamigo. We got to see some more of Ivalice, and we also got to see a little bit of Hildebrand. Yeah, what? I'm sorry.
They're finally going to delete Summoner and put us out of their misery.
No, that's not true. Summoner's getting buffs. Summoner, it's the opposite of what he. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, they're gonna buff us by giving us back sustain.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking buff! Here's what you used to have. I stole your bike and I gave it back to you. Isn't this a wonderful fucking gift?
Maybe you should have drank like half that energy drink.
Like 3 sips. We're gonna go way deeper today.
Oh no. Also, the 4.1 trailer dropped today, so if you didn't take take your eyes and peep them on that, go ahead and watch that, because some interesting characters we haven't seen in a while, like Nanamo, show up in there. So I'm kind of excited.
Sultana.
Yeah, yes, you're Sultana, the people Sultana. Did you guys have any news or anything that you needed to? You got it's community news time. Do you guys have anything? Well, you guys just dropped an article today, correct?
Yes, we did.
Alright.
God, do you remember the name of it off the top of your head?
Swear. Hey guys, go ahead.
Asking me if you
Fine,
remember the name
I
of
got it.
It's
From Slummy to Chummy.
7 easy steps to bring Alamigo to the 7th astral era.
So we wrote a wonderful feature about gentrification today. You should go ahead and check it out.
Support our proposals to gentrify Alamigo.
All right.
Also, we've still got our trial that's going on October 13th, so keep an eye out for that.
It's gonna be great.
It is, and I'm sure I'll have links to all that on around the 13th, so I'll share it with everybody, and probably around the 13th I'll probably get a link for their calling to be sued again, and I'll play that here live again for everybody that missed it. which is great. Also, I want to thank Gather Together. So I want to thank Ruby and Yelta for having me on their 100th episode, where we discussed the state of the game, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but you may want to go listen to it and find out why what bad pizza is. Just saying.
Isn't that what gave Sephiroth food poisoning last night?
Yes,
It
but
actually is.
oddly enough, we recorded that before he ate that pizza, so those things are unrelated.
You poisoned him, Flatus.
I did not do that.
Damn it, the only one that's allowed to kill him is me.
I like Safe. I wouldn't kill him.
Fucking come at me, motherfucker.
So MMO toxicity, huh?
Well, we figured you could have an example on the show.
Oh, okay.
Fuck me
Good.
IRL.
I will. So, it's not really any other community news. I think I'm not missing. I don't think I'm missing anything. If I am terribly sorry. Oh, there was one more. Happy birthday, Denmo. Actually, if you look,
Denmo!
Yeah, Sabaku went ahead and contacted me. He said, "Do you want to be part of a surprise for Denmo?" I said, "Yes." With that, listen, our background, because I do special backgrounds all the time, is actually a picture from that surprise. And if you see here, there's McStronghuge himself and all the faces. And I was one of those faces. Safe was also in there. A lot of people were in there. There's a lot of people in that mix.
You told me about it.
No, you know.
Only the cool people were told.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Then why are you there?
I'm the best.
Yeah, we drew straws and you didn't get one.
Well, at least I can have a pizza without dying.
I love Awkward in chat. This podcast is really just a hands-on example of MMO toxicity. It's probably probably right. Not far
No
off.
joke. That pizza really was like toxic.
I know, and you were like, listen, you might have been poisoned because you're like, it was delicious, but then it killed me. Usually bad pizza just tastes bad. Well, I have nothing left community-wise, so let's go ahead and jump into a chat with Sabaku. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, probably the best question to ask you first, right off the bat, is where did you get the idea for Stage Reborn?
So my undergrad degree was in theater, and I focused on doing all sorts of like experimental theater. I did some writing. I did a lot of Shakespeare. And so I always looked for sort of like the weird theater that you could do. And when Housing came out in 2014, I was like, it'd be really cool because I was in a free company that one of my friends who got a tech theater degree in the same program as me, he was in that. And I was like, it'd be really cool if you could like use a game in order to like put on shows and stuff. And then I thought, what if we use like contests and stuff like that to get people into the arts by like, saying, hey, this is crazy. Do a costume contest or a variety show with us and we'll give you a bunch of prizes. And, we'll see if that gets people interested in the arts. And it did. And it kind of just grew from there to the point where we were just like, hey, I think we can put on an actual stage production. So let's try that. And I don't know. It kind of, built and built. But I've always wanted to do something involving the arts, like finding a way to get more people into it. Because you always hear, schools are cutting back on the arts budgets. Arts programs aren't doing stuff. People have always told me, oh, I don't have enough money to go out and see live shows, so I'll just catch it on the movie when I get free tickets or something. And, the arts is something that's really important. It's a huge, important experience. And, it's figuring out how to deliver that through gaming, I think really expands the outreach. So that's what led to all this.
Because it's good ass shit.
As a guy who's in band, I know people for a second couldn't hear me. As a guy who's in band, and I also took like creative writing classes and other forms of like literature classes, but a lot of them like mixed media arts, like I learned about like how to write like sci-fi and stuff like that. I took a lot of creative writing classes, but that stuff was really important to me. I loved doing, like, first of all, I loved writing like scripts and writing out horror movies and plays and playing guitar and trumpet. Like I love doing that stuff, and it's sad when I hear like, oh, we got to cut that stuff out. I'm like, no, cut the other crap out. Cut the stuff nobody likes doing out. But unfortunately, it's, you know, they're at the mercy of government when it comes to that stuff. So. But that being said, with your degree, what like did you ever imagine like A Stage Reborn getting to the point where it's at now, where like it seemed almost like when I first told people like, hey, there's a group doing plays in the game, they're like, wait, what? Like, did you ever imagine that it would be this thing where people would line up for hours waiting to get in?
I never expected it to grow to what it is today. I always thought that, you know, at the most it would just be, you know, what a lot of people mistake it for, a free company in one game that, you know, just does some cool stuff. I never really thought that, I mean, I kind of dreamed that it would grow into something big and lifelong, but I never really dreamed that it'd become a nonprofit that, you know, I mean, and we have plans to do this in other games too, starting next year. I never thought it'd really grow to that size. I never thought that I would see, when we opened up I Want to Be Your Canary, and there was, what, I don't know, like 500 people outside the plot. I was like, whoa. That really, you know, it shows that it's something the community finds important, and, you know, that makes it great.
It's amazing, honestly.
It is. It is quite. To me, it's amazing that you put this all together, not knowing how it would turn out, and then it turned out to be 500 people showing up and being like, "What? We're here to watch Canary," and you're like, "Uh."
I mean, frankly, like not to rain on this or like try to say you're like, oh, you're terribly wrong, but like,
Well, then don't.
This community is really good. Like it's a really supportive and great community that we're in. Like, if like, I think it really speaks to the quality of the game, that if you and the community around it, that if you put on something that cool that has that much production value into it, like, you guys work so goddamn hard on that shit, that like, yeah, you get like shitloads of fucking people that are lining up and wanting to see it and like super into it, and it's great. Like, I really like that that's the case. You know, there's a very small minority of people that don't like things like really great fan art, for instance, and like fucking fan song remixes and shit. So I think when you're coming into a place where people already like things that are even like just kind of good, and you're fucking blowing everything out of the water with how great you have things going, like, it's predictable that you guys were going to do this amazingly well.
All right, well, thanks, Mr. Positive. This is a weird. Listen, he's very rarely nice, so I'm a little taken aback by what he said.
I really like ASR because it's the coolest shit.
I know. All right, so my next question for you is going to be, from where you started with Canary up till now with Maria and Draco, how big, like from where you started to now, like how what's this, like the size of the team, like how small was it then, and is it the same size team now, or is it like twice? Has it have, like, how much has it grown?
Give me a second and I will take a look.
All right.
Because we have, I never really stopped to look at the number. Let me see.
I know.
Somewhere's up in. I know there's duplicate people in here. We have 35 on our private team Discord. Some of them are volunteers though, and some of them are a couple alt accounts. So I think it's near 20 or so. But when we started this all, we had a really small team. Like, we had basically about half of the people. If you go on our Discord and you see the board of directors, which are the actual board members of the nonprofit, about half of those were like the starting core team. And just it kept growing and growing. So it's definitely gotten a lot more people on the staff.
I'm looking forward to the day that you guys inevitably get like some kind of website or something, and it becomes so much better than Reddit, because it's gonna be great. It's gonna be cool.
Like, you mean like a stagereborn.com?
Yeah, exactly that.
We have that.
I know.
We used to have forums on there. I'm going to be putting the forums back. I'm looking at some kind of like, because we have some really cool stuff we're planning on in the future. Like we have people who are very musically talented who want to compose original stuff for us for future shows and whatnot. And we kind of want to have a way for people to like have a membership and like get all those perks, not even Patreon. So that might be something we're looking at in the future. No promises, because I have to plan it and vote and all that stuff with the board. But we definitely we really enjoy that the community that we've grown so far with, and we'd like to continue that.
My board of directors consists of me and Shin, and I usually say, "Hey, Shin," and he's like, "Okay." It's very simple. I know how to run a business.
Our board of directors consists of fictional characters, and then we just do whatever we want.
I would hate to see your tax returns at the end of the year.
We would too.
All right. So that with the team growing in size and the fact that now that more people are coming out to see theater, and you also said that like next year looking at other games, with music coming out, with bars being able to level and play music, are you going to start integrating or trying to figure out ways to integrate the bard music into the shows?
Guaranteed.
I wanted to know if that was going to happen. Now, are you like I know we said the harp is coming out, but they said by 4.2 they think they're also going to add the flute. So as more instruments coming out, are you going to have like an orchestra pit up front?
No, they're gonna 4.4. They're gonna do Titanic.
Oh, okay.
No, oh god, we should all ask Yoshi for a penny whistle.
We should all ask Yoshi for an oversized broken door.
But yeah, I don't know if we'll get like I don't know if the developers will even give us the tools to like make an orchestra. If that is possible one day, that'd be amazing. But I was thinking during the live letter about it, and I know there are some Shakespeare pieces where they do have characters that play a little bit on stage with an instrument or something, not as like an actual musical underscore for the scene, but as part of the acting itself. I think, what one was it? It was The Tempest, for example. I know that's one where they have a bit of a scene where you can use that. So I think I'm going to be looking for ideas of where we can integrate it. I'm not saying that there's going to be Shakespeare shows next year because nothing's set in stone yet, but that's an idea that I'm going to be looking at.
Sephiroth and I have actually had a question.
Sure. Real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But chat, also, if you have any questions for Sabaku, please just write them in, and we'll try to manage to grab them and ask. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Are you guys ever going to do a show where everyone doesn't die at the end?
Yeah, it'd be really great if we got like a show that doesn't leave everyone leaving the show. Like, wow, that was great. I want to die.
Have you thought about it? Just they're gonna do great.
That has been a subject of discussion with the team because just especially after Maria and Draco, I was just like, that fight scene was really awesome, and I loved putting that together. But how many times have you died, Zay? How many times have we killed one of your characters in the show? So I've said this publicly, so it's public knowledge that when we do a reprise of Canary, we are changing it a bit, so it's going to have a happy ending. I can't make promises about everything, but we are making Canary happy. So yes, we will have 2017 or well, actually, it's not set in date, so it could be early 2018, but winter this year. Whenever we choose to do Canary, which there will be dates soon, the reprise is going to have a happy ending.
But Sabaku, my immersion. Real quick, let's see, Scarlet in chat. Can ASR run Hamilton? I would think not because of copyright, right?
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Like I said it on State of the Realm, like we have plans for 2018. Not saying which, but it is something owned by Disney. We are going through Disney to get whatever permissions we can or the appropriate permissions. Disney legal is always swamped with a million things, so I think they're supposed to get back to me in October. But yeah, so anything like that where like if it's a super recent thing or some company owns it, we kind of have to really consider copyright. We do have some leeway though, because we are a nonprofit and what we do is educational. Pretty much anybody who has asked me, hey, can I sit in and watch a rehearsal? I've told them yes, because we want you to see what that experience is like, and just the education side of it. Because a lot of what we do parallels theater in the real world. Like the only difference is that instead of a stage that's made out of wood and metal and paint, our stage is made of pixels. And instead of us being on the stage, we're running characters like puppets. So I guess you could say we're glorified puppet theater. But yeah, I mean, everything we do is real, and the focus is on promotion of arts culture, arts education. So we do have a little bit of leeway with fair use, but we err on the side of caution, just because we don't want somebody to slap us one day with a C&D and be like, oops.
Now, since the holidays are coming up, did you have any plans for something around like Halloween? Something maybe on the more spookier side of stuff, or with maybe a winter themed play?
So we're looking at for winter themed. Canary is always. Right now it looks like Canary might become our own kind of Christmas Carol sort of thing. So it's that might be something that recurs every year. But I can tell you for Halloween we are planning a huge thing. It's going to be level 1 alt friendly, just because it's going to be based on Diabolos, because we're taking an entire ward and making it Halloween. You're going to have what I'm looking at for events right now is Haunted House, Masquerade Ball. I think a few people are going to work with me on setting up trick-or-treating in-game, which is like little gifts and fun things. I believe one of our staff members is working on some in-game contests for that as well. What else? There's a whole bunch. Oh, and a little live action improv thing called Primal Judgment, which I'm not going to spoil specifics on the primals, but essentially if you've been to a theme park where there's been superheroes in costume walking around acting like superheroes in the theme park, that's what we're having, but with people as primals. And they're going to have little skits and stuff that they do, and various lines that they shout that will remind you of some good nostalgic 2.0 primal fights. And possibly 3.0, maybe 4.0.
Yo, can we get Thornton walking around? just so Safe can pop off.
Show up and punch him right in the face.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think that's generally discouraged at this sort of thing.
It is discouraged. This sort of thing. You would just write to me, just send me private messages like, see that guy over there? I would fuck him up. And then you'd be like, trick or treat, sir. All right, well, that's cool. That sounds really good. Listen, I'm just saying I will be there so I can get candy and treats and in-game prizes. And a lot of people in chat seem really excited about that. So yeah, let's hook that up. I'll stream that live. I'll just show up and be like, yo, trick or treat. And that always sounds fun. If you ever want to do a horror play, just let me know. Just like Edgar Allan Poe, we'll do it up. Tall Tale Heart would be great.
Poe, if you do Poe, I feel kind of obligated for us to be there.
Well, here's the deal about Halloween. It's not 100% going to be just us, because we want this to be a collaborative thing. So I kind of put the word out there being like, hey, if anybody wants to run a thing for our Halloween deal that we're doing, we will help you. If, like, for example, if you guys wanted to come onto Diabolos and do some kind of Edgar Allan Poe shorts and stuff during some time, one of the days of the quote unquote festival, we'll set up a plot for you. We'll give you access. We'll make it so you can do that. And what we're essentially going to give out is we're going to post a map that will like highlight the houses where stuff is going on. And then on the side, there'll be a little legend being like, on this date and this time, this happens here. Kind of like a little festival brochure for events.
That sounds
I-
insane.
That does sound insane.
While I appreciate the vote of confidence, I think you're mistaking us for people that have their shit together.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the problem would be is that I don't think that Safe, myself, or even Bahamut would have the fortitude to even do some sort of acting RP
Hey,
live.
I
I
have the
can't.
time.
Do you?
Brahman and I have put on an in-character show before.
Why was I?
It was a
this was a while back, yeah, but it was nothing on the level of what a stage reborn is capable of.
Okay. So, this is you guys.
Silly acting! Brilliant! Thank you! Thank you!
That's what you
Yeah, basically.
All right. I pulled that.
We don't start thanking one another. We just start screaming "fuck you" back and forth.
Oh, jeez. Let's see. Skline in chat. Maria and Draco is my first time acting. If I can do Draco, you guys can do Edgar Allan Poe thing. So
Yeah, I gotta say, you guys are really underestimating yourselves. I think you guys could pull it off.
Well, see, if we undersell ourselves, we don't have to just be candid about the fact that we're lazy fucks.
fair enough, I guess. So you had mentioned that you're looking at other MMOs to do a Stage Reborn, which I think is a fantastic idea. Now, I know you don't want to give too much away, but well, I'm trying to word this so that he doesn't give too much away, but can kind of like give us some insight. Are you looking at other games that have sort of like might have?
They're gonna do it in
I'm
GTA
sorry,
5
I
online.
just-
No, they're
I'm sorry,
are
I
they?
just saw what
Go
I'm
ahead.
totally making that up. You really think that he tells me
I would-
he doesn't tell you?
Listen, I don't listen. Hold on.
I need to take a moment to appreciate what Ockmorn said.
Uh-huh.
Motherfucking expectation limbo. How low can you go?
Well, there's all right. Well, there's a Stage Reborn's way up here. Then down here is the Crucible, and then way near the floor is Maelstrom Radio.
Just
Because-
saying, every time I tried out for a play, like I gave my absolute all to the me trying out, and I was offered the opportunity to work as a backstage crew. So,
All right.
which is to say, please don't be on stage, but we will happily have you move things and be a pack mule and get absolutely no recognition or credit for anything because whoops, we forgot to put your name on the cast. Ha ha ha! Isn't that funny?
I appreciate you.
It's okay. I'm over it.
Okay. You sure?
No. I have a two-part question. I have a two-part question I'd like to ask Stage Reborn, if that's all right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the two-part question is, how responsible, like how much do you feel personally that you guys are responsible for /play dead existing in the game? And is it your fault that it's $7 fucking?
Okay, I've got an answer I've been saying since that came out. We like to pretend that it's our credit, but I honestly, anything that they do in game development wise, I will never believe it unless the development team and or Yoshi sends me a message, email, appears in game with their character and goes, "We did this because of you," and then disappears. I won't gloat about it. I won't even retweet it. I'll just acknowledge it. But yeah, so we like to take credit, but we know it's just the developers developing things. It's a nice thought though. Now, as far as the $7, I wanna say that we're not responsible for it, even though everywhere online I said, Square Enix, I will pay you buckets of money for this, and this.
Dude, if that would work, we have /Zantetsuken by now, because I would never shut the fuck up about that.
He'd suck Yoshi's dick for Zentetsuken.
Well,
See, you joke.
I'm not joking. I know you would.
see you at FanFest next year, I guess. What happened at FanFest? I don't know, but Safe got Xanta and Sukin. He just didn't want to say how he got it.
Yoshi P was unavailable for a good like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we don't know. Oh, this is why Maelstrom Radio will never be taken seriously. Anyway. Yeah, Ruby in chat. Can this be arranged? I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna speak to. But anyway, do you do realize that it was just recently on sale for like $3.50, right? It was like half off recently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like
What,
I
Play
bought.
Dead?
Oh no!
Yeah.
It was the Zantetsuken sale.
Yeah, no, the
Play Dead's
plate.
$5.
No, it was on sale for. Oh, was it $5? I still bought it. I don't care. It was on sale. I bought it.
I would really like if they would give us an option to buy things that are account wide, or if they are not going to like everything, right? Like I would be willing to pay if it's like $7. I'd be willing to pay like 20, 25 for an account wide thing because that would actually be worth the price to me.
Okay. All right. Well, back to my question. Zaku, that you said you're looking at other games now. Is that something out of because you want to bring A Stage Reborn to other communities, not just the Final Fantasy 14 community, thinking that like, hey, it's such a positive and such a undertaking here, or I'm sorry, not an undertaking, but it's such a positive force and such a big community thing that you think that you can do this in other games and also have that same success that you would have in Final Fantasy 14. Was that your thought going in behind it?
Part of it is a want, and the other part is a need. Like I said, we're a nonprofit, and our mission is to, promote and give that arts experience and education to people through gaming. And it wouldn't really be becoming of us to stay just on 14, just because of our success. I can't say that every title we touch is going to have A Stage Reborn, just like the community on 14. It could be something where it's, kind of like Rooster Teeth with Red vs. Blue. It's, it's one kind of media on one platform, and that's that for that one. Or, we might find a platform that really accepts what we've developed in 14 with A Stage Reborn, and there's a Stage Reborn like 14 on another game. I really can't tell you. I have no idea what it will become. I have some titles that I have on my list of things I'd like to try next year. But a lot of it is just because we have a mission to spread the arts, and so we are going to try and get into whatever community we think we can do something to engage people in that experience.
That's some cool ass shit. I do have another question.
Go ahead.
It's really stupid though. So I don't. maybe you know what? I'll hold off for now. I'll ask you.
No, you brought it up. Say it.
Nah, fuck you.
Fuck you. Say it. Flatus, make him say it.
Flatus can't make me do shit.
Yo, you're on this show, and I hate dead air, so please ask.
Yeah.
All right. You know what?
Don't
That's
make Daddy
fair.
mad at
That's
you.
Fair. Shut up. Anyway, he's not bothered by me having said that. Like, that's not any. Oh, right, we're on stream. Anyway, so I was just wondering, because you did mention Red versus Blue as an example of the kind of thing where people make something out of a game that was not necessarily intended in the first place by the game. You know what I mean? I was wondering, do you have any plans to extend in that sort of way? Because like you look at Rooster Teeth, they extended out from that to things like Let's Playing and like all their other things. Or you look at Team 4-Star, where they started out doing Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they expanded out into fucking doing Let's Plays and FF7 Machine Abridged and shit like that. Do you guys have any plans to expand outward into other ways, into other mediums or something like that?
Well, I think the best answer to that is it depends. But really, it's whatever the community feedback is like. Because we always spend all of our time looking back and learning from the past. We don't just put on a show and then go, that was great, let's do it again. I have probably dozens and dozens of gigs of just like notes from events and shows. And I know my staff in the chat and my board members, they can tell you that every time an event happens, there's always like meeting after meeting of like decompressing and going over what can we do to improve, what can we do to change, what were the people telling us they want to see from us, and how can we respond to that, how can we give the community what they're asking for and not just what we think is working good. I would like to see us expand. I've told my staff and board members, I'm like, I kind of look at Rooster Teeth as like the for-profit version of what we want to do. Like, we really want to grow into a larger community that isn't just bound by what we're doing this year, last year, the year before. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that in the future you'll see new and different things from us. I mean, you already know we have the I'm probably going to butcher this, the machinima. I don't know how to say it. The basically the turning footage and voiceover stuff into a thing, machinima. We have that coming up that we're working on, and that is also for one of the titles I'm looking at is Ion, and I had an idea with that. I still have to discuss it more, get it approved, and see if that's something we're going to pursue. But taking it to that platform as well, that's another thing that we're looking at.
Well, that sounds really great. I have a question for Flatus too.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Because you know Shin better than anyone other than Shin, maybe, yeah.
But I would say I know Shin fairly well, yeah.
So I need to ask this before he comes back and is on the stream.
All right.
So he can't defend himself for me asking this question.
Okay.
Do you feel that Shin would have any interest in you guys doing some kind of machinima?
Can we like boot him off the call?
I will say this. Shin is usually up for anything within this community, as long as it's fun. Now, if you Shin is also a fan of terrible puns. He will hate you for them, but he's a fan of them. Secretly, he's a fan of them. But also, if you paid attention to Twitter at all, Shin and I have been having an anime gif-off that's lasted almost 48 hours now. So, knowing my best friend, yeah, he'll be down.
It was really fun to check my Twitter and see a post from Shin and then see that it had like 60 replies and go, what the fuck did he do? And it's nothing but GIFs!
Yeah, it's nothing but anime GIFs. Oh yeah, we typed on Facebook, he's like, we can keep going back and forth. I'm like, bitch, this is not ending until one of us taps out. So, this is going to be going on for like 5 weeks until one of us gets bored. So, look out, Twitter. It's nothing but, and we've just singled out on just one anime a piece until we can't find gifts for all of them. So just heads up. Don't mute us though. We love you. So, oh no, I can voice modulate. I can do that. I have that power. I do have the power to voice modulate people. So petition to delete Seth. I kind of need him here. He's interacting. So here's some thoughts, and then because my big thing here is I talk about with Maelstrom Radio, besides professional, as the Crucible likes to call us, professional shit talkers. But one of the things I've done over the last too many years, I've played a lot of MMOs, and one thing I've noticed, and one thing I've even learned from other communities, is that what you're doing is super unique, especially to what Final Fantasy XIV is, but even in old EQ1, there was a group of bards, because you can play a bard class. There was a group of bards that would go around that never actually like played the game, but would tell tales of people of what things have happened in the game. And to me, that almost seems on like that level of what you guys are doing, like what the whole group is doing. I like that blew my mind when I met the person, like one of the people that used to do that. They're like, yeah, we would write down the stories, write down all the songs, and we would practice them, and then we'd travel from town to town playing bardic music about the tales of people killing dragons and slaying gods. And we never played the game. Like, we played the game in alternate characters, but we always would log in and make sure we did our bard stuff first. And to me, that's really interesting that like something like that could grow into something like a Stage Reborn is now today. I mean, it boggles my mind that like the creativity of players has not changed since the dawn of MMOs. And that baffles me, and I'm excited to see what you have coming up in the future. And chat, if you still have any more questions for Sabaku, we'll take them as we go along. But I think we're good on the questions from, at least for me. I'm good on questions, unless Safe or Brahma have any questions for you.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I mean, I have an endless list of really fucking stupid questions, but
I love
we
stupid
probably
questions.
shouldn't spend the entire stream having me make terrible fucking puns.
No, I
No,
know,
we
but
shouldn't.
no, because we have to talk about the other topic we have here today is MMO toxicity, and why, the other thing why we were here to talk about. So that being said, I'm gonna start it off like this. Now, personally, when I was younger, I got picked on a lot for being a nerd or being a geek or whatever term you want to pick. I was a lot of things, but I never shied away from what I was. I played Magic, I read comics, I collected comic books and cards, and I did all of that. I gamed. Thanks. And I did all that, but I got picked on. And when the internet started becoming more of a thing for me to game on, I hung out there, and lo and behold, eventually I became the thing that we're talking about today. When I was young, I became the thing I hated. Today, oddly enough, and I'm glad I changed my ways. Like, I'm glad I knew that being a good person was a better option. So I want to start that off like that. Like, I myself, Flatus, was an asshole on the internet at one point, and it sucked. Like, I don't want to say that. Like, I apologize to a lot of people that I knew in gaming communities back then, and it changed my thought process on what a bad person is on the internet and how they can affect other people. Because I being bullied related to me being bullied and being a bully on the internet, hiding behind a name. Which is, it's not what I wanted to be. I was displacing my anger towards my life on others, and that's not something I ever wanted to be. Now I try to do a lot of good for this community and others on the internet, and
Now
even
you
in my
saved
real life.
grandmas from hurricanes.
Yes, I did. They're relating to what I did during the hurricane. I ran outside across my yard, picked up my neighbor across the street's dog, because she walked out during the gusts. And if you don't know what hurricane gusts are like, it looks like it's calm, and then 100-mile-per-hour winds just come and knock you over and fly debris. And I ran out and grabbed her, and I put her back inside her house. Well, I grabbed her dog. I ushered her into her house, and then I got hit with it was stupid. I'm honestly, don't do what I did, because it was stupid, because I got hit with debris in the process, and it's not fun because I ended up bruising my back. So do not do what I did. Bad times. I did get knocked down, but I did get up again, luckily, because it would have been bad news bears if I did not get up, because we were at that point, it was no emergency vehicle, so I would have been game over. So that being said, don't do that. Don't do those things. Be nice to old people. Just don't, get hit with debris. Just to try to avoid that part. Anyway, so that being said, MMO toxicity is a real thing. It's happened. In fact, it's gotten so bad that even games that are not even coming out yet, when they have Reddit pages, and hold off, guys, for
I was just about to say something.
I know. I was like, I better let me jump in there before they get on that get on that line. That there are Reddit communities that will get volatile. They'll attack the company. They'll attack people within the company. And it surprises me, because to me, gaming used to be this thing where people were excited about the games they were playing and hyped about the companies and hyped about the people that work there. But now it's all changed because of the internet, and people are getting very brave about being bad instead of being happy about helping. And that scares me a little because of the nature of what I do, what Stage Reborn does, what the Crucible does, because we are putting ourselves out there. Now, I don't live under a rock. Like, you could find me easily, which is a little scary, but you can still find me. Like, I but don't come at me though. because you don't want to do that. Just saying. Don't want to come out.
I will end you.
I will end you. So,
You don't want to mess with Florida man.
yeah, don't mess with Florida, man. Anyway, that being said, what I'm gonna start it off with. I'm gonna pick Brohamet. I'm gonna pick you first. Yeah. I mean, is there a time where you've been attacked on? I mean, I'm sure there has been, but I mean, I know you have. Better yet, the person in question that started all this, or even started this discussion, even attacked not necessarily the Crucible, but attacked. And I'm just gonna say you're one of your interns, and am I fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fair to say that. And so much so that I found out that that person who did this also recorded it and still put that on their YouTube. You can even find that attack happened on, like, they're proud of it. That bothers me in a lot of ways. But I mean, other than that, and I know you guys went to bat for your intern, which you guys are great for that. But I mean,
Yeah,
Brohamet,
you don't fuck with our people.
yeah,
That's why we got so mad about what he did to his Stage Reborn, because the Stage Reborn is our people.
Besides that, I mean, was there ever a time you personally were attacked on the internet?
Honestly, not really on the internet. Up until the Crucible, I've kept a fairly low profile and kind of stayed out of people's way. But I sure had my fair share of bullying in, like, high school.
Yeah, and Safe, I think we discussed this as well, but same for you, correct?
Yeah, I got to deal with fucking Mark Echo talking mad shit when I was 14. Fuck Mark Echo. Yeah, that Mark Echo, the one that releases the stupid fucking clothes with the dumbass rhino on him. Fuck Mark Echo. Game shit, motherfucker.
Maelstrom Radio does not condone the thoughts and our words of Sephiroth.
Come at me, Mark Echo. Fuck you.
But Mark Echo, if you want to sponsor Maelstrom Radio, I'll wear a rhino for money. Anyway, besides Mark Echo, I mean, what about the internet? Just are you in the same boat as Brohamet? Do you just kind of keep a low profile up until now?
Oh, I've had people fuck with me before, but I think it's fair to say I have fairly thick skin when it comes to that sort of thing.
And then, of course, Sabaku. I mean, if it's too personal, please don't need to share. But I mean, besides what happened recently, I mean, have you dealt with this stuff in the past?
Surprisingly, I mean, not a whole lot. When I was young, I was in band and stuff in school. So of course you get the athletic sorts that make fun of the band kids and stuff. But I mean, that was all really short lived. And I think this is probably one of the most, I guess, harassment related situations I've ever had to deal with. Surprisingly.
Well,
Clicking that screen.
It's a very small minority of people that are, like, shitty enough to fuck with people that are doing purely good things.
You would think that.
And it doesn't. I mean, I have to agree too. I also kind of have thick skin when it comes to it because it doesn't really bother me.
But it did ruin, I think, a lot of the fun. Like, essentially what you guys were doing is free, and I mean, doesn't really cost. I mean, it costs you your time and your effort and all that. But when you invited people out to come see this play, I mean, he just got up on stage and did the thing, and it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I try to avoid talking about him specifically, but just like the act itself was just wrong. But the fact that he just took, like, it's not in the game anymore. The fact that he's now taking it outside the game and he's showing up to other people's shows to see, because he wants to be fed. And I'm saying this because the point is with MMO toxicity, or any toxicity on the internet really, is that the person trolling wants attention. And this person wants to know, like, ooh, they're going to talk about me, they're going to mention it. And I gave you 5 minutes, maybe less, and I banned you, and you subbed to me. I'll take your money. You're still not. Listen, pay me all you want. Do not care. But you're not allowed in my chat room. I'll take your $5. I don't care. But you know, I don't need that. So I could say this. Like I did a show, and I've said this before in the past, but I did a show called EverCast. We were the largest EverQuest Next podcast. And we dealt with tons of hate. There were times where people would come in chat and just tear my co-host a new one. Now I moderated chat a lot. I had myself. I had my former co-host Tamlin, his wife, and our co-host Lucy. And people would always come in and say very overly sexual things to Lucy or Kylest. It bothered, like I mean, terrible things. Like, and I even found one on my computer where like I saved a screen cap of one to send to Twitch, because we were like, hey, this person just kept making new, like just constantly was making new accounts to come back in. It was bad, because you were like, hey, we're trying to do a show, we're trying to have a fun conversation, but this person consistently wanted to come in and just ruin the whole thing. And my co-host Lucy, I had to back out for the night. Like, she's like, I can't do the show, I cannot do it because I'm getting attacked. And same for Kylest, who had to leave, and that left Tan Line doing the show, and we had to cut the show early that night. And I went off. Like, I did the worst thing I could have done was go off on this person. And I did. I went off. And then it started a ripple of everyone in chat going off on this person. That's now, to be said, I will be honest and say that initially my idea was to come on the show, invite the Crucible, is to rip this guy a new one. And I yeah, and it wasn't going to be great. And I didn't want to, like, I stepped back and said, no, I want to change this and make this a positive. So,
kudos to you for being the beggar man.
I try.
We at the Crucible would be perfectly satisfying being petty little children.
I know.
I would just like to point out that Flatus, for me personally, Flatus has absolutely no bearing on whether or not I'm going to talk mad shit on this dude on Arch stuff.
Oh no, not at all.
Because Wanderer Sabaku would like, because anything I say would theoretically reflect back on the Stage Reborn, even like if there's the remote possibility of that, I'm not going to do that, because I actually like and respect Sabaku.
I would like to point out that asshole just subbed to us for $10 as well. So now he's giving me $15. So I will take your hate money. Dude, I don't care.
Throw some of that. Yeah, throw some of that.
Yeah, hey.
I'd like to wipe my ass with some of your money.
I'll make you an offer, guy who I'm not going to identify. If you come to our Patreon at patreon.com/thecrucibleffxiv and donate $6,666 to get our highest, really like hilariously stupid reward tier, I will gladly, happily pretend that I'll send you any of the contents of that tiered rewards.
Also, real quick, hold on.
His porn folder, which is the most of a woman you'll ever see. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I can't believe there's a tier reward there. Anyway, I also point out, if you're trying anything at all to try to get Maelstrom Radio under fire or in trouble, I will tell you right now, I have friends that work at Twitch. You will not make that happen at all. I'm just letting you know that now. I have people that work there. They know who I am. They know what Maelstrom Radio is. They listen to my older shows. Don't think that you have any power here. You have the minimal amount of power. All you've given me is your money. You can't talk. All you can do is look and listen. So just pay attention to that. Head on a swivel. That's what I got. And also, my co-host is in here. And if you think Canada's full of nice people, you haven't met Shin, because, you know, he may look 40 and 12 at the same time, according to Safe Sephiroth. But, you know, that dude will drop a banhammer faster than anybody. So, that being said, yeah, go ahead.
Twitch subs work.
Yes,
does that mean that you've already gotten $15 from this guy? Like, it's yours now, or is it going to be paid later?
They pay out. I think it's every 3 months, I believe. I don't think they pay out in 1 month. Yeah, they like every 3 months. So like as 3 months go by, you get a check. So.
Okay.
He was just wondering if you already have his money or not.
Yeah, I was just
no. I mean, he can cancel. Listen. I was gonna say he could cancel the money, but Amazon deals with that, and honestly, I don't care. Like, if he could have done it and take the money away from me. I honestly don't care. He's just trying to do it for attention.
Yeah.
Also, I think he was trying to see if something would pop up on screen and show, like, hey, look, I subbed, I did my thing. No, I turned that off. I don't play those games. I knew what he was gonna do. I figured that he may try to try something, so I prepared. Anyway, let's keep this train rolling. So maybe to be fair, like, I know Bahamut and Safe, the Final Fantasy 14 is both of yours first MMO, correct?
Yeah, I don't count RuneScape.
All right. I mean, did you ever experience assholes in RuneScape? Just out of curiosity. I mean, that's
I
a thing.
experienced like some PKers, but
Okay.
that's it.
All right, just wondering.
I hate MMOs as a genre, like aggressively, violently hate MMOs as a genre. So yes, this is my first and permanently only MMO.
You don't count Warframe as an MMO?
Warframe's not an MMO. It's really not. Like,
Okay. I mean, we
because
can't.
it's multiplayer doesn't mean it's an MMO.
This is not, it's not Warframe, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, and Sabaku, is 14 your first MMO, or have you played other MMOs in the past?
Oh no, I've played a bunch of other ones.
Oh, go on.
It all started back in the day, Phantasy Star Online.
Hey.
Are you looking forward to PSO2 coming to the West?
Oh, they changed their mind on that?
I'm waiting.
They've been maintaining for like years that they are totally going to come to the West any day now.
I thought they were just like, we're done with the West, we're not going to the West.
I mean, they are,
Yeah,
but they're not willing to say it openly.
Well, I'll have to look into that, because I did enjoy my time on PSO. It was a good game.
Now, I have a question. Real quick, was that Phantasy Star Online on 360, or did you play on the Dreamcast version?
DC, then PC, and GameCube.
I still have my Dreamcast. It's sitting right there under my television.
You would have been a fucking Dreamcast player, you shithead.
I had all the consoles, bro.
I had to go to my friend's house to do it though, because my friend had all the the systems that not many people had. Like, he had the Dreamcast with PSO set up. He had Sega CD with Sonic CD. I just had the Genesis and the NES.
Yeah, awkward in chat. Fuck off. I loved my Dreamcast. Fuck yeah, Dreamcast. Dude, Shenmue was the bomb, dude. It was the Shabizzle Band Pop.
You know what's better than Shenmue?
What?
Yakuza.
Get out. Yo, dude, I'm hyped for the new Shenmue. Can't wait. Can't wait for Shenmue.
Yeah. I really love the Shenmue series. Once it hits Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2, Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4, Yakuza 5,
Yep.
Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami. Looking forward to Yakuza 6 and then Yakuza Kiwami 2 coming out in the West. And then whenever Yakuza 7 comes out, that'll be great too.
Welcome to
Yakuza cast.
Yeah, welcome to Yakuza chat with Safest Sephiroth, where he tells you about all the things he loves about Yakuza.
Oh, he could go on for like 2 hours.
Please don't. We cannot do that. Let's not. Let's pull that. No. Nope. All right. Now, is there anything that you guys? All right. So let me go back. I played, the first game I ever played was World of Warcraft. Right. I was very young. I was like, I just did video games, and I was like, internets, and I was like logging in. I played StarCraft. I did all the Blizzard stuff, and I experienced assholes in that game. I did. I actually had a very terrible tale of what terrible people can do on the internet. That is way too personal. That's a tale. Maybe not for this show. Safe knows that story. Bahamut, I believe, knows that story as well. So I believe I told you guys, but just know that I've dealt with that sort of thing as well. But it was on a very personal, very super personal level. But there are some things I do want to get across that maybe I think some of the community has some contention because. With or what things that have or how it happened and the rippling effect of one person is that it spread to Twitter and people misspoke and people unfriended and blocked other folks, and and I don't like that. Like I'm very much an ELE person. Like everybody love everybody, and you know, sometimes sometimes you type out, and you misspeak, and shit happens. And like the easiest thing to do is just say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I fucked up," and that's it. And people understand. They're like, "Hey, you know, people fuck up all the time." Listen, I'm not saying everybody gets away with like apologizing. Not everybody gets to, but like in this case, I think the person in question could have done that. And bro. Dude, come! Do I have to take it away from you? I gave it to you for a
I just want to point out that
I listen. You know what?
he gave
I did
mod powers because I would abuse them and be irresponsible with them.
I had to get it in preemptively.
Can you undo that now? Please undo that because he doesn't do. God, no, Feeney, because I think you'd ban both of them.
Give Feeney any power with which to retaliate.
I know. Listen, MMO toxicity is only between Brohamit and Safe. That's it. That's where it lies. It's a constant force going back and forth between. Anyway, so I also want to get across that the GMs, the Square as a company, they're going to do what they can as fast as they can. Like they're going to review all the data and everything that they've been given. They have to follow procedure, and if they don't follow procedure and just outright ban this person, the problem is that could backfire on Square, and then the person will just get their account back. And they have to follow procedures and do what they need to do to get things right and make things right. And if it does happen, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and just deal. But my advice, and I mean, I could be wrong. Sabaka may tell me I'm wrong, but my advice is if you see him and he's ruining something, yet again, turn your back, walk away, ignore him. Don't give him the time or day. If he decides to crash something that you're putting together, I mean, you know his name, and the Crucible put out other names, and I'm not going to say them here, but you know to ignore him. And that's go ahead.
I was going to say I do have a thought on the whole subject matter, and the thing is, and this would be a good way to kind of segue really into the topic of MMO toxicity, is that nobody really has control over the community or any community. You know, as many tools as we have, like I can't control the flow of this conversation. I can't fully control inside the game. And, you know, just as we see with dealing with customer service queues for GM calls, we can't always control, you know, how a situation is going to get handled. And, you know, some of it is internal stuff. Some of it is flipping a coin. It's the same like when you call a customer service place and you get, you know, one bad customer service rep that doesn't help you at all. And you call back 5 minutes later and you get the one that solves your problem. I have borne witness to in-game harassment in somebody's yard where there was a player harassing a group and they were just standing in the yard, and it was ongoing for a couple days, and the GM pulled them into jail and gave them a warning. We confirmed that. And in our situation, they couldn't do that for us. And so, you know, it's really hard to pinpoint if, when, and how a situation like this can be controlled. However, I think the biggest step for the entire community to take is to, one, recognize that, you know, when you submit a GM call or something, don't do the thing where you complain and go, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to be mad, and then rant on Twitter about it. Understand that there's a process and it's not perfect. And part of it is our obligation to understand how that works and to give the best material that we can for them to do their job.
I was like, there's a whiny pupper in the background. That pupper's going to pop off.
my dog is going crazy because my fiance just got home. So, but I mean, part of it is our obligation to, you know, make sure that we know how the system works. Take the time to go over, how does a GM ticket work? I know nobody reads the rules, but read through the rules and learn how that works. And I think the other important thing is, and this is for, you know, anybody that is connected with developers, anybody who is a developer, anybody who becomes a developer or involved in these game companies, is you need to be a lot more connected to your community, because the tools we have aren't perfect, and you are never going to be able to fully control and micromanage your customer service team. And it's really important that you pay attention to the kind of atmosphere that you want your MMO community to be, and that you take steps to give us the tools needed to allow us to have control of that environment. Because to not give us the proper tools to control the environment is silence that condones the kind of behavior that we see, not in this community, but in every community. And I've dabbled in code before. It's not hard to sit down and have these conversations and say, what can we do to make sure that we are breeding the community that we want to have. And I think that's the most important step of all, is to get eyes on that. And instead of making this about who got mad at who on Twitter, or he's doing it again, or we've got the person in chat here, instead of putting that focus on that situation at hand, we need to go, hey, why aren't we pushing for the tools to make sure that we have a better community in the future? We should really push for that.
Yeah, and honestly, that was the message I was. Listen, I know you jumped in at the right time, because that's the end goal what I was going for, and I was training on the basic level for a lot of the players in the community, what they could do. Until we get to that point, it's really going to be a community meeting with the company and getting these tools set up in place. But if you're wondering what you could do, ignore, block. I mean, don't give the attention that they're seeking. That is my general rule. If someone is trying their hardest, usually when if you have kids, or if you have friends and you know they're getting bullied, you don't tell them, you'd rather tell them to stand up or just walk away from the situation. And normally walking away from the situation is probably the best option, because if they keep harassing you at that point, then it's harassment. But just, I mean, if you need to, if it becomes a thing, and this is just a general, yeah, and Ockmorn said it perfectly. And please don't be afraid to offer that kind of constructive criticism on the official forums. Exactly. But as a player of games, and having been on the internet, and having been the asshole, and then on the flip side of it, and being attacked as well, what I learned is just to walk away, and to block the person and walk away, and don't give them the intention, and it, because if you do, they just want to seek it out and see what they're gonna get. And I think normally we're coming up on a thing. I think Sabaku, maybe is that your final thought?
Well, I do have one more thing to really re-emphasize.
Sure.
How I mentioned that a lot of this is something, there's internal policies in place that we don't know, we don't see, and 99% of the time we're the consumers in this situation, and we don't understand the other side. I've had, I've worked for places like Wizards of the Coast, where I've been on the other side of things. I have that experience. I have experience moderating, where I have, been the one who has to make these decisions. And I've seen the good and I've seen the bad. And the biggest thing that ticks me off about the community, actually, is when I see somebody post a screenshot going, her SEGMs don't know what they're doing, and the entire GM screenshot is them being the worst customer and just saying, I want it my way now, and if you tell me no, I'm just going to be mad and yell at you. And that is not how anything gets resolved. I mean, a lot of the times, and I've had friends in this situation before, where what happens is unfavorable, and a GM did mess up on the rules, and you have to play the game to win. And there is no way that being a jerk about things and biting the hand that feeds, there's no way that's going to help you. So if you feel that you are harmed or something in any way in game, you got to go through the channels that they provide. And only when those channels fail officially, formally, and with proof that everything was done right and they were wrong, that is what can drive change. When we can prove that, no, it wasn't me just being crabby, it was them that was wrong, that's when we can really get them to realize that there's a problem and they can fix it. But I mean, 99% of the GM calls I see screenshotted are just people complaining, and that's not how it works. And you got to just be vigilant and play by the rules. And it sucks. Sometimes it can take months to get a resolution, but that's the most important thing that we as gamers can do for the community.
Yeah, and I want to point out that being a former manager of all things, I did I did collections for a utility company. I managed that for the state of Florida. Um, it's hard, especially because people want to feel first and foremost, the customer believes they're always going to be right, like first and foremost, and not, and it's unfortunate, and I mean this from a place of kindness when I say that, but sometimes the customer isn't always right. But I always stress this to my team when I was working that job, is that go in with sincerity, go in with kindness, treat them with respect, listen to them. Yes, people are going to, and I agree with you, Sabaku, people are gonna to screenshot, like, and unfortunately with a gamer world that we're in, people can screenshot easily, and their social media. And not saying that wasn't available in the utility world. I mean, it ran differently because we have, like, we have outside sources like government and stuff that they could go to for us to deal with those complaints. But it is rough. But I share that sentiment that you have to play the game. He's absolutely right. You have to go through the process. I would say, if I were any of you, if you ever have to deal with this, document everything. Make sure you have everything documented. If you feel like, grab screenshots of your chat, save them, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are covered. That way they know what to do and follow the process. It may take a month, may take a week, may take a day, but if you follow the process, you screenshot, you cover yourself. Just patience and respect, because they're doing their job the best that they can with the tools that they have. Same for you. You do the same thing. Just use the tools that you have at your disposal at the best that you can. Brahman or Safe, did you have anything left?
I'm gonna hand it off to Safe.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
I asked both of you. I mean, you're
Okay, well, I have two things to add to this conversation. And
okay.
That's basically what I've got.
All right.
One is I had the wonderful experience of working retail, and customers are assholes, and being like, just to parrot what's already been said, being an asshole doesn't really get you anything done in a professional situation. And bitching about it on websites that we will personally name on our stream, and I think we actually have a command specifically to name that website, but we're not going to do that with Sabaku here because we don't want to. We don't want to do that.
Be petty children in front of him.
We don't want to be petty children in front of Playdad.
Do I need to earmuffs?
No, it's fine. It's fine. But the other thing I want to say, which is, I mean, it's just really quick and unrelated to this. I feel like bill collection in Florida is done with a baseball bat, and I really respect that Flatus was being paid to go around and break people's kneecaps, because that seems like a good job for him.
I did not do that.
Sure,
At all.
You can't legally say that you did, but
I didn't.
I mean,
I ran. I mean, if you want to know, I ran collections for the state for the utility company, and I ran KPIs, or key performance, to figure out how to the best way. So, like, not to get into numbers and stuff, but they were badly hurting in the not getting their money from people department, and they asked me if I took over the department, could I get the money back? And 1 year I got 60% of the past due balances corrected, putting them in the green. So they were good. They were happy because they got their money. And I did that. And I did it with the least amount of people being shut off in the entire state. Like I didn't have to shut people off. I figured out how to get them help and get them money based on where they lived and the help they needed. Because they wanted to be aggressive, I wanted to be nice, and I figured you can get more, flies with honey. So
I would just like to point out along the lines of helping people. We do have a wonderful listener hanging out in the Maelstrom Radio holding pen. Do you think we should start taking guest talkers?
Yeah, we
Oh,
got to
yeah.
call Flatus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we were gonna take calls. If you're in. Oh yeah, that's right. Remix. I'm so glad you're here because I know Remix didn't want to chime
Hi,
in.
Remix.
So Remix is here now. Hi, Remix.
Hi, Remix.
Hi, can
Hi,
everybody
Remix.
hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
How's it going? Did you wanted to add to this, correct?
Yes. So, since we have started Musecast 14, which, if anyone's not familiar, is the only FF14 podcast, not stream, podcast, dedicated to roleplay. And we knew going
They're
into
wonderful.
it, we knew going into it that just because of our own personal experience, that there is a subset of FF14 players that engage in RP, which is basically just collaborative, creative writing, improv, 90% of which is totally PG-13. And probably the next 5% of it goes into maybe like violent stuff, maybe rated R, but we're talking about 2% of it that ever gets into sexual content. There's so much else
that's
out
not
there.
common.
Why you gotta hate on your own server, man? Why you gotta be like that?
I just want to point out that Balmung has the quality, the wonderful quality that is that everyone horrible on Balmung is in the same physical location in game, so they're really easy to avoid.
Oh yeah, well there's that.
Oh yeah, and the worst of those kind of jump ship to another server.
For clarity, he's not speaking about an individual, he's speaking about a massive group of people, and it's really great because there were like so many people back when locking queues were terrible for like a week that were like the most toxic people on the server, and apparently all it took was for queues to be bad, and they're like, hey, we're just gonna jump ship as one to a different server I'm not gonna name, and it's like that's great, they're gone. No one awesome jumped ship that I know of. Some people made ults, but no one like transferred off, except bad people, and that's great.
All right, so back to my point.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
What just happened?
We got distracted by shit talk.
Yeah, no. God. Go ahead, Remix.
Yeah, it's true that Balmung gets the reputation as the den of vice and sin. And because it's also known as the roleplay server, people think that roleplay equals vice and sin. And that's really unfortunate. And that's even SE staff on live letters have made fun of Balmung. It's really that bad. And even though I wasn't happy with it, I talked to some Balmung natives and they were a little bit like, lol. But I really am resentful of the fact that people will, if people say Balmung equals RP and Balmung equals lewdness, people will think RP equals lewdness. Because that's all they know. They've never actually experienced RP, even though like 90% of you who play D&D hates the same exact thing. Really, it is. And they don't realize that they're playing an RPG and that they're all role players too, just on a much more subtle level than, me or Emmy or any of the people that we have in the Musecast community. And we knew going into it that there would be a certain amount of salt. There would be misunderstanding, mostly from the general player base, which is one reason why we always took a really mainstream approach. Before we came about, the only entity that I know about that was devoted to RP was the Crystal Chronicle, and the Crystal Chronicle was just kind of the RP newsletter of Balmung. It wasn't.
Crystal Chronicle is actually in the chat.
Oh, hey. So yeah. So I want to acknowledge them as like the first thing, the first RP media entity, but what they are, are is the RP newsletter for Balmung. it doesn't have much accessibility or value to, one, people that don't RP on Balmung, or to the general player base. It's just it's in its own world. It's very, very niche. We took a different approach, which is be like, hey, we're going to speak in a way that any player can understand. We're going to try to bridge the divide between FF14 media and RP. So on this journey that my co-host Emmy and I have been, we have always been cognizant of the fact that there will be haters. There will always be people that misunderstand what we do, which is why we've taken like painstaking steps to be accessible and to show the many, many other facets of RP that exist out there. But still, every week, every month, we learn more and more and more about the bullying of role players in FF14. And I've taken further steps, such as the panel that I did, which was called Playing an MMO for the Story, which talked about these different facets of the community and called out, just to call out the fact that, hey, role players are bullied in FF14, and that people don't know that. They're not aware of it. And like, not to get all SJW, but like, sometimes it feels like this game has a marginalized group. We are the group of people that everybody shits on. We are the group of people that get made fun of constantly just for having a different way of having fun. And I'm really sick of that shit. Really sick.
I have something to add on to that. I'm
Sure.
pretty sure I brought this up when we were on Musecast, maybe the first time, but I haven't always been on Balmung. My first home was on Adamantoys, and I was on that server with a couple friends, and we kind of tried to start our own little RP group, and this was like 2.0, just after server transfers were introduced. And I still remember, like, every time we tried to do something even vaguely RP wise, even if it was just screenshots, people would just be, rude dicks about it and be like, oh, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
And it sucks because now, there actually is a little bit of an RP community on Adamantoys years later.
Yes. One of the people we interviewed on our small server role player show was from the Turtle Land.
That's a great name.
So basically, I just wanted to make sure that I'm following your point so far. You feel that it's like there's also, like, to bring it more to a more specific point than just general toxicity in MMOs. There's a lot of toxicity directed towards RPers specifically that's particularly irritating.
Well, it just feels like there's a lot of toxicity that's pointed at anyone that doesn't do nothing but raiding. Like,
or just
weren't-
PvE or PvP content.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I showed Flatus' video. I don't think Safe has seen it yet, but the Fun Police video by Zepla. It's it's
I
poking
have
fun
seen
at
it.
it.
I have seen it. How dare you imply that I don't have the fucking bell rang on YouTube on Zepla's videos?
Well, we love Zepla, but yeah, that video is funny, but there's a nugget of truth in there. There are those people that are just like, oh, why are you doing this thing that is not super optimal and the correct way to play this game? Jo motion.
Can I chime in as a non-RPer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome, cool.
No, you can't chime in. This is your podcast. We took it over now. But
Oh, okay. Oh,
We're the new
This is
well,
Crucible Cast now.
I guess I can still mute you though. I won't, but I could. I will say this as a person who just started hanging out in your Discord and hanging out with both, primarily with Bahamut and Sephiroth, and I personally, I will say this: like, I was a person that I will still admit that I don't understand RP in an MMO. Now, that's not to say that I make fun of it or I am against it. It's not something I understand. Now, I RP on pen and paper, and it's maybe a correlation thing. Like, I don't make the correlation And that's something that I did want to discuss and have a show about, which, by the way, Remix, we will talk to you later about. That it will be happening.
Dude, Flatus, like for months, I have been IMing you. When are we going to be on your show? When are we going to be on your show?
I know.
Don't look at me.
I know, it's me. It's also Shin.
Get your shit together, Flatus.
Shin's. By the way, speaking of RP, real quick, I'm gonna shameless promote real quick. Immortal Flames Radio. Hell no. No. So Shin's coming back, but we will be doing since I have almost everybody here, the Musecast and the Crucible and myself, and so 3 different things are coming together to do a separate podcast, but it's under the Maelstrom Radio umbrella. It's not gonna we don't know how it's gonna go. So if it does well, we'll do more somehow. We'll have to talk about it. But essentially the idea is that me as human Peter fell into Eorzea through. If you didn't hear our teaser, I may play the teaser again later. If you didn't hear our teaser, go to episode 50. There was a teaser about how I ended up in Eorzea, and then my co-host will be whatever the Crucible decide to make, and then our guests will interview on the show will be Musecast and whatever characters they decide to make. It's going to be completely improv. It'll be completely RP'd, and it'll be live from the Drowning Wench. And when that comes out, I hope everybody joins in, because that will be the first time I technically it's going to be role play, and it's also going to be open mic night for comedy, I guess. And he says he doesn't role play. I know what I'm saying. Anyway, shameless promotion. But I do want to have a serious conversation, because I am fascinated by the RP community, because I'm going to go to bat for all of them. If you make fun of them and you're complaining about the state of the game like I do, let me tell you who's not having a hard time with the gaming right now. The RP community. They have They have character, and I'm going to go to bat for all of them. They have character lines, they have storylines, they create their own quests, they create their own stories. They have not had any downtime in this game that any of us, other people, have had. Most of us are checked out, we're playing other MMOs, we're playing other games, because we don't have the time to devote to do the same stuff over and over again, where they have the time and characters and stuff they can play, and they're dedicating their time to writing these stories. And somewhat jealous of that, because I don't have that. They do. And yet,
all good, man. All good.
Yeah, if you want to make fun of them, maybe look on the inside and figure out why you want to, because they're having fun, they're getting their money's worth, and you're not. Maybe you RP a little bit, figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the RP community is probably one of the most dedicated subsets of this game, because we invest ourselves so deeply into not just the story, but the world and the lore. And like you said, even when, the devs aren't putting out content, we're making our own.
Yeah. I do have a couple of points I want to finish, and then I will let you guys interrupt all you like.
Sure.
But I definitely have said before that Square Enix as a company should continue to pay attention to role players. And I do definitely appreciate that they put the RP status in several patches ago. First and foremost, because you're like, wow, they notice we exist. They know that we're here. Wow, Daddy loves us.
Senpai.
And if you think about it, yeah, as Safe said, we are creating our own content. That means we're not letting our subs lapse. So role players are making Square Enix money. What other motivation do they need to continue to serve us as loyal customers? We don't let our subs lapse. We are dedicated. We'll be playing way after they stop updating, because we'll want to see our friends. So role players make you money, SE. So please continue to serve us, and we will continue to give you money and not letting our subs lapse. And, as much as I want to say, yeah, role players get bullied, and even just going out and saying that and just acknowledging that happens is going a long way. Just bringing awareness of the problem is going a long way. I also contrast the attitudes of haters, especially since I live on Gilgamesh, which is not a big RP place. It's a big raid place, but it's been to my home since day one. that I've played this game almost 4 years, and I'm never leaving. But I contrast that attitude with going up to Koji Fox at FanFest in
Koji
my
senpai.
Robo t-shirt, by the way, and making him take a picture with me during the Storm Salute and just saying, hey, I have a podcast about roleplay. I wanted to just ask you one quick question about the roleplay status. And he said, like, yeah, we've been working on that for a while. And I was like, just thank you. You know, he doesn't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to get that in. Said we have a podcast about roleplay and asked him to sign my book. And you know what he wrote in my book? To Musecast 14, Never Stop Role Playing, Michael Christopher Koji Fox. I was like, you know what? Every hater out there can suck a goddamn dick because Koji loves us. Seriously. That was like all I needed to just make every single hater look like shit.
Honestly, yeah, we're in the same boat where validation from Koji is all we needed because his reaction to the Crucible is the reason that it's gotten this far.
I'd also like to point out, to support what you're saying, Remix, as far as the RP community making a shitload of money for Square Enix, or at least making the money, I would put money down that more than half of the people buying /Play Dead and fucking, especially like and shit like that, did not get it just because, oh, I want to use this in like raids and shit. Like, you got it for RP, motherfuckers. That's what this shit's selling for.
Unless you're
RP
Chili.
and a stage reborn.
Because Chili always wants... Oh, Chili's always posting pictures of his character dead. Shout out Chili.
Well, you know, he's a Lalafell. He's presenting his ass to everybody.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, Chili doesn't main Dragoon, right? Like, it's actually a challenge to show yourself off as being dead all the time if you're not a Dragoon.
All right. Yeah. Oh.
Are you about to go on an Estinian rant?
No, please no, please.
No, I play just enough content to know that like I keep up with the meta of what jobs you should just assume are going to be bad at any given time.
Uh-huh.
It's great. Right now, it's paladins and white mages. If you see a paladin or a white mage, and the content is Susano, regular, or before that, you can just expect that you're about to get fucked by someone who doesn't have any idea what they're doing, especially if they're wearing a full 260 set and that's it. Like, they don't have any other gear. You know, I may have done 9 consecutive fucking Susano runs that went badly because of those fucking people.
We're not going to go on a jump potion rant.
Yeah, can I...
No, we're not.
Slash hug. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I could argue on the flip side of that, but that's not this show, so... To be fair, I can. But that's, yet again, that's not this show. I will always go to bat for... Yeah, Ockmore. Speaking of MMO toxicity...
It's an interactive exhibit, guys.
No, jeez, please. All right. So, Remix, did you have anything else?
Well, just as a short plug, because someone in the chat did ask. So, Newscast 14 is the only FF14 podcast focusing exclusively, and I mean exclusively, on roleplay. You want to hear the latest news about what happened in the latest live letter? Do not listen to us. But what you can do is go to our website and listen to us on the web, on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play, and listen to our entire back catalog because we make evergreen content that never gets old. And I'm really proud of that. So, starting from episode 1, you'll learn a lot about how to get started with RP, just really basic stuff. And a new series that we're doing is taking RP curious people and helping them build characters. And we're starting with a friend of mine from my FC on Gilgamesh, which is not a roleplay FC, just has a lot of awesome people. And just helping him get started, showing people that an average player can get started. Maybe they're not going to be hardcore. It's not going to be an enormous part of their experience, but anybody can have fun by just occasionally getting in character. Every server has regular events at least once a week where you could just go hang out in a bar. Bar nights are the most popular thing in character. Everybody can try it, and my ambition for this series is to get more celebrity guests to come on and create characters and show as an example that anybody can enhance their gaming experience with roleplay.
I love how Bahamut's like,
Anyway.
sure.
Newscastxiv.com is where you can find everything.
I'll
Crucible
vouch for
appreci-
these.
The Crucible.
Shut
fuck
up.
you. Fuck you.
Shut up.
The Crucible
nice things to
appreciates
say
your
to
open
Remix.
invitation directly to us.
But see, you're already role players, though. I want people that are on the fence or are
Oh.
curious or
Like
you
me?
wouldn't normally think of role players. If you're willing,
I'm willing. I'm always willing.
if you come to us with at least a basic character idea, we'll
Sure.
give you like things like lore context.
All right. Done deal. I'll put some thought into that. I do want to say this. If you've never listened to their show, and I do listen to their show, I don't even RP and I listen to Musecast. Let me just put it out there. If you're interested in lore of the game, RP of the game, go listen to them because they interact. They tell you lore. They do a drama-esque like storytelling with great sound effects and great audio. They're and I think
Yeah,
Remix,
their
you almost
production value is great.
I almost think you almost undersell what you are because they're a lot more than just RP. And I think
Oh, thank
that
you. I just don't want to. I just don't want to go on a big commercial rant.
no, I will for you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll do it for you. So if you've never listened to them before, absolutely go to the Musecast XIV and go check them out. They do an amazing show. So that's go check them out.
I'll
Thank
vouch
you.
for-
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So Remix, I think you're good, right?
You want
All
to
right.
kick me out? I'm good.
No, I don't want to kick you out. I just want to make sure that you're like. Did you have anything else to add?
I'm good. As I said, keep going, and I will add commentary.
Okay. I think we were trying to like, almost kind of wrapping it. Is there anybody else that wanted to come? I know Remix didn't want to call in, but if you did have something to add to this, just let me know. If you're in our server already, you want to jump in, just go to the holding pen. We'll drag you down real quick. If not, if you have any questions left in chat, we'll try to answer them. But I think I'm going to try to wrap it up. We've been going for about 2 hours now. I don't want to hold people longer than need to be held. So,
yeah, we got Neo Yokio night.
We do have Neo Yokio night as well.
Fucking big Toblerone.
No. Anyway,
You see, I changed my nickname. After I watched the first episode, I went and I chose my own nickname instead of having one randomly assigned for me.
That's fine, as long as everyone in our server has a Neo Yokio name.
Uh-huh.
I think we can address real quick, just as like a summary.
No, Akmorn, we
summary
like
thing
your
to say.
nickname.
A summary thing to say is like, and I want to admit I'm wholesale stealing this from A Stage Reborn. Like the thing with toxicity, like we didn't really propose any kind of solution to it. We just kind of said, hey, it exists. I think like
Get a fucking life.
I think ASR is like really correct in expressing that it'd be important that if we're going to fix this, we need to have like part of preventing the kind of hurt feelings and shit we get, because you're talking about people blocking each other on Twitter over misunderstandings. I think we, as a community, we really need to communicate more, particularly between like the different categories of players of this game. Like I think maybe people need to chill the fuck out hating on the raiders or the RPers or the fucking casual people that are just playing for the story or playing with their friends or things like that. And like it's really important to point out like there's kind of this mentality sometimes like, oh well, one person will change everything, so I don't need to do anything. Like I'll just wait for Happy or Denmo or fucking someone is going to do the big thing and then everything will be fine. Like I think it's really important that everyone in the community really takes it upon themselves to kind of try to improve how things are going, just by maybe chill the fuck out if you're an asshole. I mean, I'm not going to, but other people should.
Yeah, but you are not openly being an asshole to people in the game.
Yeah,
You're right.
he's
I am only
asshole
an
to people
asshole
I know.
outside the game.
Yeah, but specifically to Braham.
Wow.
Almost exclusively.
Well,
There
it's
is
just
a-
gonna-
Brohamet, stop cutting off Sabaku.
It's true.
There's an example I wanted to bring up too.
Sure.
Just reiterating that whole it's a team thing where we need to get everybody at the table to work on things like this, including the game companies themselves. Do you guys remember when there was all sorts of Reddit threads and things about, can you sell your property on Final Fantasy XIV? And there was all sorts of contradictory messages from customer service, from GMs, everything, where almost every call you put in, it would be somebody from Square Enix telling you something differently. You can, you can't, you can, you can't. That is actually one of the big things that contributes to problems like this, because you don't have that consistency with the people, the people taking your reports, the front lines there. We need consistency on all fronts. So, part of it is the community needs to know, how are you going to respond to this? What are you going to contribute to the solution? But we also need people who are connected with the game companies' teams or are part of those teams to also think of it from that angle and be like, hey, is everybody on the same page here?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to offer, it may not be a solution, but I'm going to offer an opening of communication. And I think that I'm going to reiterate what Akhmar had said earlier. Go to the official forums, right? And start it there. And start to say, like, what can we, and I'm just being honest, like, let's open up a line of communication and say, hey, maybe the tools need to get better on both sides. Not only for us as players, but also for the GMs, what they have available to them.
I don't think anybody should, this is a huge, sorry to cut you off, I just want to make sure this gets out there too. Don't wait for somebody to start it.
Oh yeah, no, don't.
If 30 people make the same thread on the official forums, so be it. If 60 people submit a GM call the next time this thing happens, so be it. You don't need to follow and you don't need to wait.
Yeah.
And Akhmar definitely, she mentioned that in the chat. Just do it.
Yeah, honestly, any ideas, anything at all, like, I promise within 2 months, and I said that, I still have a month and a half left, since I'm not forgetting, but Shin is actually holding me to it, that I will go onto the forums and list all the changes I want for FCs, because I think they're important. I think that FC teams need those changes. But the same thing, I will gladly be one of the people that says, hey, listen, like, there's could be better tools that you can be using to help GMs in game and then the customers as well. So organize it yourself. Be the upstarter. Don't wait for somebody else to tag back and do the things. Start it. Open up the line of communication. Start it with you. It takes 2 seconds. Go to the forums. Start the open line of communication and say, hey, we need better tools, and then just open up that talk. And it'll happen. And it'll happen organically. And it doesn't matter. And Sabaku's right. It doesn't matter if there's 27 different threads about it. It doesn't matter if 60 people go to the GMs about it. Make it happen. Make the voice heard, because is what's going to happen. They're going to say, wait a minute. There's a lot of people telling us that something's wrong here. So maybe there is something wrong here. So that being said, Sabaku, Bahamut, Safe, Remix, did you have anyone else have anything else to add?
Yeah, I would like to add that we're the best, and community is funnier than us, and that you can follow us on Twitter and Patreon and like a whole lot of things.
Well, if you didn't have anything else to add, would you like to promote anything?
I actually had something to contribute because I'm not a total piece of shit.
All right, go ahead, Rob.
I'm trying to figure it out right now, but I am going to start a thread on the official forums. I'm looking it up right now about trying to get a feature to boot people from your personal houses.
All right, awesome.
I was actually just gonna say I am literally loading the forums right now to do this.
There you go.
Sabaku can do it.
No. Both of you should do it.
One thread, like Akhmar said, one thread with a bunch of support. So,
okay, one thread with a bunch of support. All right, well, I will get that.
Let's make that. Let's try and do it quickly so we can link that thread in the chat and get everyone who's in here in it. And if we see anyone who's in chat tonight that did not contribute to that forum, we can publicly shame them on the Crucible.
No, you cannot.
No!
No!
We're not gonna do that! Don't fucking say that, you son of a bitch! We are not doing that. We are not doing that. Do not listen to him. He's a liar and an asshole.
Bahamut, apologize to all the listeners. Apologize to all the listeners.
I apologize for nothing.
But hold on.
Either be a part of the solution or the part of the problem.
This is why I mute him on our Discord
I
server.
had to mute him on my server. I just muted him now.
Gladys.
He can't. This is why we can't have nice things because of him. Like, I gave him a chance to apologize and he couldn't do it.
Right.
You back? Can you apologize to people now?
You're either the solution or the problem.
Can you apologize to them, or I'll meet you again and you don't get to say anything for the rest of the show.
Fine. I make an official public apology.
Everybody doesn't like you right now. Everybody does not like you. Everyone is angry.
So.
I like you. I gave you a chance.
And this is what you get.
What?
Stop fighting the hand that feeds, motherfucker. There's the nice people running a nice show, and you're pissing them off.
Anyway,
this is what happens when people love me.
Bahamut, go ahead and tell people where they can find you.
Well, if you want to come beat me up, you can come. Okay, my personal Twitter is Lord_Brohamut on Twitter. My personal Tumblr is 12 Save the Queen. And for all official business, you can follow the Crucible FFXIV on Facebook, Tumblr, Patreon. We really love getting money for things. And our Twitter is @Crucible FFXIV. No, the Crucible, because Twitter's stupid character limit.
I would like to add that this applies generally to all content creators, like not necessarily just to us, but anyone who has a Patreon, anyone who runs a Patreon. There are a lot of people out there that I think feel like they have to give, like, well, if you don't give $5, $10, $20, then like why bother? It would be so much nicer to have like 20 patrons that give $1 than one person who gives 20. Like,
let me piggyback
on
that.
$1 makes a huge difference. You have no idea.
Yeah. You know, I personally love seeing a $20 pledge, but whenever I see that, I get a little anxious because I think about how sustainable that is. Like, yes, we appreciate that money up front, but how long can you continue to give that to us? We would much rather have, you know, people donate $1 month in, month out, and just kind of build our community, because our Discord server is not public. You either have to be a patron or you have to collaborate with us in some way in order to get into our Discord server. But I kind of like the way that shook out, because we have a very tight-knit Discord server. And you probably saw it in chat earlier today, but we have an affinity for giving stupid-ass nicknames. Like, right now, everyone has Neo Yokio-themed nicknames. So
I love my nickname. It's hilarious.
I love sports. Yes, Flatus quite possibly has the best nickname. He is Giant Toblerone.
Yeah.
And Akamornis doesn't deserve Giant Toblerone.
Yeah, it's because Akmorn has not earned Giant Toblerones, okay? Listen. There are many Giant Toblerones. And
well, Chili, you sub to us. That gets you in.
Yeah, no, if you sub to us on Twitch, we bring you in. Like, the thing is, like, it feels kind of shitty that like people have to pay to get on our server, but at the same time, as a result of people having to pay to get on our server or work with us, suddenly everyone who's on our server cares to be there. Like, there's not really that many people that are on our server that don't contribute at all ever. And we've definitely seen, we're not going to name names, but we've really seen certain people recently that have like really started to notice and like pick up on posting in the server, because we are, as much as I'm an asshole to Brohamut, we're not assholes to the other people on our server that much, you know, except when you earn a place in one of the like 6 or 7 punishment roles.
Yes, right now the current lowest punishment role is Neo Yokio's least eligible
Bachelor. Oh, okay. Anyway, all right, guys, listen. You've had like 10 minutes to promote all your shit. Sweet mercy. Anyway, go promote them. Go in there. Chili, you've also collaborated with them. You should already be on the server anyway. Anyway, Remix, go ahead and tell people where they can find you one more.
Sure. Sure. I will definitely not take 10 minutes. We are musecastxiv.com. Same thing on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. To get to our Discord, go to musecastxiv.com and look under contact for the permalink. We definitely invite everybody and have designed it to be a very, very inviting community where you can ask all sorts of dumb questions. But besides that, we also have a pretty rad little, crew going. We don't have crazy nicknames or a not safe for work channel. I actually joked that I feel like we can never have a not safe for work channel because it'll just reinforce the idea that role players are lewd.
Oh no, I don't think that they're not safe for more channels from a role player standpoint. I think it's just because they're lewd.
But we almost have to overcompensate to be innocent just to work against that stereotype.
I think if you're in both servers, it's good to have one that balances out the other.
See, we had second thoughts about our not safe for work channel at first, but then it just turned
because of you.
All right, hey. Listen, you both had your time to chill. All right, stop. So, Sabaku, tell people where they can find you in A Stage Reborn.
Wait.
Sorry.
If you find, I'm not gonna say my personal Twitter because if you find it, it's just Yuri on Ice.
Oh, which I did watch in total, by the way. I liked it. I did like it. I liked Yuri on Ice. It was good.
Ew. Sports anime.
It was decent. I like the Russian punk. He was cool. Sabaku, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, and let them know what's happening this weekend.
Sure. This weekend we've got the show that is closing. All the information you need about A Stage Reborn can be found at www.astagereborn.com. On social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. What am I missing? Anyway, look for A Stage Reborn on social. I don't have an A Stage Reborn Snapchat. Or no, I do. I don't use it. But no, just
we traced in Snapchat now.
Just look for A Stage Reborn wherever, and the information will be there to show that it's you'll know if it's us. But definitely everything is linked out of the website. You can also join our public Discord server. The invite code is A Stage Reborn. Surprise! And that's our hub for all of our activities, information, and so on. We're on Patreon. We have all sorts of stuff, so just go search, check it out.
Sounds good. I will be there this weekend to come watch Marie and Draco. I forgot, and I didn't know that I was in the VIP. That I could have just gone during the VIP night and probably could have just gotten in and watched. But now I know. So for future episodes, for future plays, I'll be there. Listen, I rarely think I'm very special in this community at all. I often don't think people like me in this community, but here I am, and then I'm like, oh hey, I'm in things. So
do we have an update on that official forum thread?
I saw links in chat. I think links were being made. So okay. Yes. Listen, if there's anything, also, we can even tweet it out and get it going. So don't worry. We'll use the power of our internets and whatnot.
There's also one plug that involves you, Flatus.
Oh, okay.
After the show, we'll be doing Neo Yokio night on Rabbit.
Oh yes. Well, so if you want to come watch Neo Yokio with us, pay attention to the Crucible, and we'll get that going. Anyway,
there it is.
There's the link.
There's the link. So if any, please, all of you, I implore you to go click that link. I will be doing so after the show and showing support for that as well. So go do the thing, please. I promise. And well, if you have to go get groceries, just let us know when you'll get back, and we'll do it. We'll do it up. Anyway, we've postponed before for somebody else.
deserve the giant Toblerone.
We postponed for 4 for you, and you didn't make it last night, so don't worry. We think we can hold off an hour. It'll give me a chance to like get things wrapped up here. Anyway, you can find Maelstrom. Actually, before I go, I want to say this. I do want to say this. My grandfather, my abuelo, my Spanish grandfather, always told me the most important thing in life is to love, be loved, and pay love forward. Now, maybe that's too sentimental for here, but that's something I've always held close to my heart. But I will leave you all with this. In the great words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. You can find Maelstrom. In all honesty, it's probably the greatest thing you could say. Treat everybody with respect. Just be excellent to everybody. My name is Flatus. Maelstrom Radio, you can find us here on twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. You can find us on Twitter on Maelstrom_radio. You can find us on Facebook.com/Maelstrom Radio. You can email us at show@maelstromradio.com. You can follow me at Flatus. You can follow Shinter at Shinter. Go follow him. He's taking a bunch of pictures from Korea and he's currently in Tokyo for the next 3 days. I guarantee you he will post all sorts of cool food and things and sites. It's been really awesome. Our Discord is open and we don't have a cool like a Stage Reborn thing, so like just go to our Twitter and find it. You can hang out there. People do VV, Kane. We have a bunch of people in that chat and that talk to us. So it's not as cool as the like the other ones. Unfortunately, it's more discussion based. It's fine. So I do leave you with all that. Thank you so much for showing Maelstrom Radio support. Things that we're looking at in the future besides shows and the shows with, of course, the Crucible and Musecast. I would love to have Sabaku on again in the future, maybe around the Halloween times to maybe, promote that. But in the future, we're looking, Shin and I have kind of discussed going to Patreon, which we haven't done yet, but maybe setting up a Patreon. We're looking at maybe getting some shirts or something swag for and setting up a Maelstrom Radio store. We try not to ask, but although we do have the sub button here, and we do implore you that if you do have Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime and you're not using your Twitch Prime, if you want to throw it to us, that gives us support. I think at 10 subs we're going to do something special. At 20 subs we'll do something special. So just it helps us. It does help us. Thank you all so much. I really do. I want to thank the Crucible for hanging out with me for the doing 2 shows. I really do appreciate the help, guys. As much as for all the choose your own adventures and derails and everything, I really do appreciate the support and help. You guys have been the best B team that I could ask for when Shin is out. I want to thank Sabaku for showing up and opening this discussion and letting me learn a little bit about the background work of A Stage Reborn and letting you guys know where A Stage Reborn came from. Please go show your support, go make a character in Diablos, and go check out the play. Take in the theater for a night. It's a fun event. If you've never seen the other shows, make this your first one. Go make a character. Get to the Lavender Bed. You just go. Check them out. You heard the thing. If you're hearing this later, are you doing shows next weekend as well?
No, this is closing weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tweet that out and make sure that you're all going. But get there early so you can get in and watch it. And I'm sure that I'm pretty sure there are videos online as well. So if you don't get to make a character, pre-make a character, have your character ready to go, and just leave it outside their house. So when they do this again, you're right there. Not that that's creepy, just saying. And then go listen Remix and Emmy's podcast, Musecast. Yet again, thank you all so much. I want to thank Brohamet and Akmorn for helping me just moderate chat, which wasn't too bad, except for when Brohamet blocks safe. But literally fucking stalk them flat as 22K17. Yeah. Just wait outside with like signs and saying, I'm here for the sweet, hot theater. Anyway, thank you all so much. Let me go ahead and mute you all. You guys want to say bye real quick?
Bye, everyone. Give us money. We love you.
Oh.
Bye, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Oh,
You do.
All right. Go ahead. They're all muted. I'm going to go ahead and do this now because I can. And I'm going to go ahead and click that. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you all coming out. All the new followers we got tonight. I'm breathtaking. I'm humbled by the support I get here every week, and thank you for sticking out the last few weeks without Shin. I really do appreciate it. Yet again, treat everybody with respect, and that's all I got from Maelstrom Radio this week. Next week, Fusion X is here. So, till sea swallows all, keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is a production of MaelstromRadio.com and Blackfire Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening theme provided by Benjamin Anthony James. You can find more of their music over at SoundCloud.com/Ben773. Our outro is provided by Sodo. You can find more of their music over at SoundCloud.com/Sodo. Views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of Maelstrom Radio and their hosts, and do not reflect the views and opinions of Square Enix. And until sea swallows all, keep listening.
Real quick, while I have everyone still here in chat, if you're still here, I'm going to play the teaser for Live from the Drowning Wench one more time. If you've never heard it, stick around, hear it. It's pretty good. Okay, well, video diary for the Final Fantasy XIV VR mod that I'm working on. It's still terrible. Nothing is working. I'm at the point of frustration and breakdown, and I'm at the, I just wanna drink until I don't feel pain anymore. But, I mean, great modders out there persist until they get their things working, and then they get recognition for it, and that'd be cool to kind of get seen as a dope modder in the community, especially for VR, something I think a lot of people would like. But here I am, not getting the VR to work, and that bites, because I think that we could get VR working if I just figured out what was wrong. Wait, what if I tweaked it and did one of these, and what? It seems to be. Hold on. What's going on? Do I touch it? I'm gonna touch it. Where am I? Oh no. I'm in Limsa Lominsa? Hey everybody, it's Vladis. I want to take a minute to say thank you for sticking around after the show to listen to our special teaser for our upcoming special episode, Maelstrom Radio presents Live from the Drowning Wench, starring us, Maelstrom Radio, The Crucible, and Musecast. That show is going to be live and completely improv, so stick around for details. That show is coming soon. Thank you all again for 50 episodes. See you on 51.